Good morning, students. This class we will be discussing how to calculate mean heat capacity and sensible heat calculations. Mean heat capacity. Last class we have discussed the difference between heat capacity and specific heat capacity and molar heat capacity. Okay, so just to consider one example. Specific heat capacity of water is equal to 4.19 kilojoules per kg per Kelvin. Okay, specific heat of water is 4.19 kilojoules per kg per Kelvin. What is the meaning of this? In order to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water by 1 Kelvin, 4.19 kilojoules are to be supplied. Okay, in order to raise 1 kg mass of temperature of 1 kg mass of water through 1 degree, 4.19 kilojoules are to be supplied. Okay, so this is per kg. Usually per kg data, specific heat capacity data is available in literature for different liquids, for different gases and also for the solids. But now we will consider the application in the chemical industry. Okay, in chemical industries it is very important to heat or cool the fluids. That means heating of the fluids or cooling of the fluids is very important operation. For example, we want to heat water. Then who will heat 1 kg of water? Isn't it? No one will heat 1 kg of water. We may take some 100 kg of water or some 1000 kg of water. Like that, some weight of the liquid will be taken. Then in order to heat that much, what is the total amount of heat to be supplied? Okay, and in the same way, who will heat only 1 degree Kelvin? No, we heat the liquids or fluids or solids through some temperature difference. For example, you take water. Okay, some 50 kg of water is to be heated from 30 degrees centigrade to 70 degrees centigrade. Okay, this is the task. 50 kg of water is to be heated from 30 degrees to 70 degrees centigrade. In the same way, in the chemical industry, any liquid, maybe sometimes some hydrocarbons are to be heated from temperature T1 to temperature T2 degrees centigrade, and mass can be some m. Okay, therefore it is very clear that in chemical industries or in heat exchangers especially, and it is necessary to heat an amount of m from temperature T1 to temperature T2 degrees centigrade. Then we need to calculate what quantity of heat is to be supplied. We need to calculate what quantity of heat is to be supplied to raise the temperature from T1 to T2. Like this example, to raise the temperature from 30 to 70 of 50 kg, what quantity of heat is to be supplied? That only we are naming it as Q. Then Q is equal to mCp dt. Okay, and I already explained this in the first class. What is dt? T2 minus T1 or T1 minus T2 depends upon heating or cooling. So this is the mean heat capacity CPM. Mean heat capacity is nothing but what it is. Heat capacity in the range of in the range of T1 to T2 degrees centigrade. That is mean heat capacity. Same heat capacity units only, right? So say kilojoules per kg per Kelvin. This is mean heat capacity. So we need to substitute here not just a specific heat capacity here, that is mean heat capacity, because it is in the range of T1 to T2. Therefore, now we need to learn how to calculate mean heat capacity in the range of T1 to T2. So mean heat capacity calculation, usually two types. One is for liquids and the other is for gases. Calculation of CPM, that is mean heat capacity, that we will see liquids and usually in case of gases, how? In the range of T1 to T2. In the range of T1 to T2 degrees centigrade. Okay. So liquids, how to calculate is, let Cp1 is equal to specific heat capacity at the temperature 1, at the temperature T1. Okay. Then Cp2 is also specific heat capacity at the temperature T2. So at T1 and T2, the data is available. In problems it will be given. Heat capacity at T1 is so much, heat capacity at T2 is so much, and a substance is heated from T1 to T2. Like that data will be given to you. So therefore, Cp mean is equal to Cp1 plus Cp2 by 2. This is how to calculate in case of liquids. Cp1 is when a liquid is heated from T1 to T2. If you know Cp at T1, let it be Cp1. If you know Cp at T2, let it be Cp2. Then the arithmetic average is given by CPM, that is mean heat capacity. Like that you need to, this Cp1, Cp2 data will be given in the problem. Okay. Then after calculating CPM, then you need to substitute Q is equal to M CPM dt. This is known, and this is sometimes or N also, no? This is also known. This CPM we need to calculate like this. Okay. So next when we start the problems, no, in the two stages we will do those problems. One is in the first stage, I will give small problems where CPM value is given directly. Okay, then direct substitution, calculate Q. Next stage problems, we calculate CPM first and then we calculate Q. And then for gases, normally heat capacity for gases may depends on temperature and varies like this with an empirical equation of like this. A equals A plus Bt plus Ct square. Not necessarily of the same form. Sometimes only A plus Bt or plus dt cube also maybe there. Will solve problems. No, anyway, then you will see the different forms of dependency of Cp on temperature. Okay. So Cp is equal to A plus Bt plus Ct square. Then Cp mean, in this case, Cp mean is integral Cp dt from T1 to T2 in the range of T1 to T2 by T2 minus T1. This is how to calculate CPM. Okay. This is how to calculate CPM. Integral Cp dt, and in place of Cp we calculate, in case of Cp we substitute this here, then we integrate it. While working out problems you will understand it fully. Okay. So this, especially why this Cp mean is required. Cp mean is important in calculation of sensible heat. In calculation of sensible heat. Okay. So next class when you solve problems you will understand this completely. Thank you.